H.L.O. Gates imagined decades of popularity, adulation from millions, laughing in love, and then in an instant, the life you built is betrayed not by a stranger, but by the guy you trusted most. A man whose name held all the power over your career. A man you once called husband. This is the story of Doris Day, Hollywood superstar, top box office star for years, and the shocking betrayal hiding beneath her sunny facade. It's not about the perfect movies and hit tunes you know so well. It's about the person she deeply trusted, and what occurred when that trust was shattered. Stay with me, because at the conclusion of this film you'll understand how a Hollywood sweetheart was forced to fight for all she ever won, and how that war impacted her life forever. Doris Day was one of Hollywood's most cherished stars. Born in 1922, she ascended from singing big band jazz to become a cinema queen in the 1950s and 60s. Films like Pillow Talk, Lover Come Back, and Send Me No Flowers established her not merely a household name, but also one of the highest paid and most trusted actresses in Hollywood. Her chemistry with co-stars like Rock Hudson helped catapult her to box office stardom year after year. She wasn't simply successful, she was historically successful. Her films ruled the box office from 1959 to 1968, and she became a symbol of charm, warmth, and mainstream Hollywood success. But off-screen, something considerably darker was brewing. In April 1968, everything changed. Doris' husband and longtime manager, Martin Melcher, died suddenly. For most individuals, the loss of a spouse would be tragedy enough, but for Doris, the pain was only just beginning. After his death, Doris found a horrible truth: Martin, the guy she relied on to manage her finances, hadn't merely died. He had lost practically everything she had ever earned. Her Hollywood earnings, built from decades of films, albums, and performances, vanished. Worse, Martin had made arrangements and commitments in her name without her approval. One of the biggest was a television series deal, a project Doris never wanted and had never agreed to do. And behind nearly all of it was a lawyer called Jerome Rosenthal, the man who had been advising Martin for years and who stood to benefit from nearly every agreement in money. As Doris investigated more, she found something terrifying: Martin and Rosenthal together had participated in exceedingly questionable, and at times ethically dubious, financial activities. Rosenthal had been her husband's attorney, financial advisor, and partner in many businesses. The result? Doris was placed in huge debt, liability she had never knowingly consented to. Outraged, Doris didn't retreat. Instead, she did what few stars of her age ever did: she took her husband's own lawyer to court. In 1969, Doris sued Jerome Rosenthal for fraud and legal malpractice, accusing him of manipulating her confidence and taking the earnings she had labored for years to create. The battle was long, arduous, and extremely personal. Rosenthal fought back with stalling tactics and appeals that carried on for years. But Doris would not be hushed or pushed aside. The case worked its way through the courts and became a defining episode in her life and career. In 1974, she finally won the lawsuit, and although the final settlement wasn't paid until 1979, the victory signaled a stunning reclaiming of agency for a lady whose image had always been perceived as soft, cheery, and obedient. Instead of hiding from the public light following this betrayal, Doris remade herself. She didn't simply fight legally, she battled creatively. The television production her late husband had tied her into became the Doris Day production, a blockbuster series that helped her restore financial stability. Despite initially loathing the idea of television, she turned it into success, showing the world she was considerably harder than her innocent TV persona portrayed. She also devoted herself into animal welfare, founded the Doris Day Animal Foundation, and becoming a lifetime advocate for animals, a passion that characterized her later years just as much as her films defined her earlier ones. What makes this narrative so compelling isn't just the betrayal, it's what it says about trust, resilience, and agency. Here was a woman cherished by millions, someone the world recognized as the perennial girl next door. And yet behind the scenes she was thrown into a legal struggle most celebrities would never survive. It was a sobering reminder that fame doesn't make someone immune to exploitation, and that sometimes the people closest to you may create the deepest scars. But Doris didn't crumble. She battled back with grace, knowledge, and strength. And she won. By the time Doris Day passed away at age 97 in 2019, her impact had stretched well beyond Hollywood. She was a top box office draw in her era, she had received critical praise, and she had become one of American pop culture's most enduring symbols. She also left behind a legacy of advocacy, notably for animals, through charities and activities that continue to this day. Her narrative reminds us that a cheerful grin may disguise enormous fortitude, that sometimes the toughest battles are fought not in front of the camera, but far behind it. So what can we gain from Doris Day's life? That success doesn't shelter you from betrayal. That trust is delicate, and that sometimes, the fight to restore your life can be the most defining chapter of all. If this tale impacted you, hit the like button, share your comments below, and tell us, what would you have done if your career and trust were betrayed like that? Let's speak about it in the comments.